Hello friends, it's Miss Bubbles. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to the best community I could have ever asked for. Fantasy Life dropped its new free DLC alongside a 2.0 patch packed with additions that I think you're gonna be excited about. And with a long weekend that a lot of you can enjoy, I want to share with you everything that you should know before you get into it. With that said, I do have some mixed feelings about the DLC itself. If you love my videos, make sure to squish the like and subscribe buttons. I'd love to see you again, and let's get into it. Starting with the patch itself, you can now have 10 islander houses in your base camp, which I know a lot of you have been hoping for. So as your island's level goes up on the bulletin board, you're gonna gain 1 islander house from level 7 to 10. If you're already at level 10, then you're immediately going to see that your cap has been increased to 10 houses. The recipe screen has also been adjusted to display undiscovered recipes, and it shows you how to acquire them. The map has also seen a change, where we're gonna have indicators that will show us islanders' locations on the mini-map and the map itself in the base camp. In Gynormosia, the developers added the area points that are required for the next rank up to the details that are shown when we hover over the tower icons. And they also added each shrine's clear condition and the recommended level to the details shown when hovering over the shrine's icon. They've also adjusted the personal request screen, where now we can directly go to the client from the quest menu once the request is completed. And we can now also change our character's equipment from the crafting settings screen while we're crafting at the workbench. And if you're struggling with a minigame, you can press the give up button. Now, one of my favorites is that if you're hosting a multiplayer session, you can click one button and change the destination of where you're going to go with your friends very quickly. You're also going to notice that there are new materials that have been added, which you can access with the new DLC, so this is the perfect time to talk about that. This DLC is pretty much a roguelike take on Gynormosia, and I have a video that is coming up, so by the time you're watching this, I will have around 30 tips and tricks that will help you get started, because I know a lot of you have been struggling with it, and it's all for a good reason. The DLC is not that easy, it's pretty difficult, but what's going to happen is after you update your game into version 2.0.0 or 2.0.1, you're going to see that Don Bazario has set up a tent in your base camp, and when you use the bed, which costs 3 cash nuts, these are acquired in Gynormosia by the way, you're going to be transferred to a new world that's called Snoozaland. And you'll realize it looks just like Gynormosia, but with a twist, because you can't just go to any area you want to. Instead, you're going to start at a specific region every time, and you're not gonna have any of your equipment, weapons, or tools that you have spent hours and hours crafting when playing Fantasy Life I. You're going to start with level 0 with everything. Now you see this purple chest, this is the first chest that you're going to open up, and you're going to pick one of the different tools and weapons that you're seeing. Now I recommend always starting with a combat class, because you're bound to run into enemies and you need them so you can farm materials from them. And I'm talking especially about these mini bosses, which not only help you level up fast, but you can also gather rare materials from them that you'll later put into good use in different ways. So when you start in a specific area, you're going to have a quest to complete, like destroy all cardboard boxes, chop 4 pine trees, kill X amount of Y enemy. Now once you complete the objective, the gate will open up and you can easily see on your screen where to go next, so you can advance to the next area. After you've completed enough gates, the final boss will appear, and beating them will give you valuable treasure. Now, besides killing monsters, using various lives to chop down trees, catching fish, and all that jazz, you have other things that you can do in the 20 minutes that you are allocated to finish up every run. You're going to find these red chests that are scattered around everywhere, and I suggest looking literally everywhere to find them, because they have even more materials that you can use. This can be something like a consumable. For example, you're going to get extra HP or extra SP. They might be a material that is considered a treasure, which is very valuable. It can be buddies that will help you out, or it can even have various equipment, tools, armor, and all of that, and they're all going to come with different status effects as well as buffs that you can take to your advantage. You're also going to run into these alchemy bots. There are different types, which means DLCs, each one will prefer a specific type of material to consume. Some of them are going to like vegetables, which corresponds to the farmer life. Other ones will prefer things like lumber, which corresponds to the woodcutting life, while some of them might prefer ore, etc. You can also run into a golden one, which will give you even more valuable resources. And what you do is you toss in the materials, hit the required number of points needed, and you will see that the machine is going to spit out a variety of materials in exchange for these. Some will be something like a piece of equipment, weapon, or tool that you can choose to either pick up or keep in your inventory, while others are in the form of a treasure chest. So you're gonna open it up, find a variety of materials inside, and you pick one. By the way, you can also use your mount in Snoozeland, which makes traversal a lot easier, but overall, again, keep in mind you only have 20 minutes to reach the final boss. I've tested the timer with our bubbly community because we were streaming this for about 7 hours, and it seems like even if you reach the boss when you have, let's say, 10 minutes left, the timer will be reduced to 3 minutes. This also means that if you get to the boss when you have a few seconds left, the timer will still reset to give you 3 minutes. Now, whether you complete the boss or not, the result will be the same. You're gonna be transported to Dawn's dreamy world, Bazaar, something, I don't... This DLC's name is too long anyways, so I don't remember any of the names. But here we're going to trade in whatever materials that we kept in exchange for a variety of resources. Some are very simple, like potions and bombs, while others include the newly added EXP sphere, which comes in 2 sizes. Or it can be a recipe for one of the new item sets that level 5 has added, and by the way, everything that you get here, you can take it with you back to your base camp. This DLC has added plenty of new items, including new materials like the dark metal, the dark lumber, and dark horn, as well as new series of items such as Shadow Girl series, the High Priest series, Shiba Inu, and more. Not only that, but you can also get things like new craftable objects, including the Gothic series, the Kitty Wall decoration, Pirate series, and so on, as well as new facility objects like the Pirate Stairs, a Pirate Square, Pirate's Bridge, to name a few. And we also get new mounts, new hairstyles, new emotes, new stickers. If you want the full list, you can find all of it on the Fantasy Life website. Now back to Dawn's Bazaar, it's important to note that you're not using Dosh, which is the in-game currency. Instead, the game will evaluate the worth of the items that you've gathered, and in return, it will give you dream points that you can exchange for these items that I just told you about. And this is amazing because not only are you getting new decor items that you can use, which I know a lot of you love decorating and using, but I also have to say the EXP sphere can make a difference, especially if there are one or more lives that you haven't really dedicated much time to, because I've used a few and I've noticed that as long as a life is between level 1 and let's say 35, you can get a lot of XP and level up this life accordingly. But I've also noticed that if you've, let's say, surpassed level 50, then you're probably going to need a lot of dream points to buy a lot of these spheres, and it's not going to make a lot of a difference with your levels. Oh, and let's go back to Snoozeland real quick. I want to show you these Drowsy mimics. Every time you touch them, you're going to have a different effect. For example, you can get something like the headbang effect, which means you can headbutt anything and completely destroy it within a second, or you might get this devil effect, which randomly starts throwing stuff out of your inventory. You might also get the angel effect, which I'm not so sure what it does. Maybe it gives you extra health. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. And finally, you might get just Isekai, and you're gonna end up somewhere a little bit different for a little while. For example, one time I ended up in a treasure room and I found quite a few chests that I can open. Another time I found myself in a room with a lot of enemies, and after defeating them, I got a red chest at the end and it gave me some resources that I can use, and then it teleported me back to Snoozeland. I still have a lot to share about this DLC, but before we get into that, hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If this video has been helpful, squish the like and subscribe buttons, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you've been enjoying my content for a while, consider supporting me on Ko-fi, Patreon, or becoming a YouTube member. You can find the link in the description box and pick whichever way you'd like to support the channel. So let's talk about how I feel about the DLC, and personally, I feel like it's made mostly with multiplayer in mind. And I'm not the only one who feels this way, because I've looked it up on Reddit and I was like, you know, I was expecting to enjoy this DLC a lot more than I eventually did, and seems like I'm not the only one. A lot of people are in the same boat as me, and you're gonna ask like why? Well, not only is the timer very tight if you're playing alone, but also some of the quests are extremely annoying, especially the ones where you need to find the cardboard boxes that are scattered around. If you get this quest, especially if you happen to be in the lava area, well, good luck finding them yourself, because when I was playing even with our community, it took us a long time to find all of them. And I think this cardboard quest is one of the most annoying ones because unlike the other ones, there is no exclamation point on the minimap that tells you where to find them. I'm hoping this will be added in a future patch, but also when you're taking down the bosses, some of them in solo mode are really difficult, especially the Joker one. I flippin' hate him. You know, the difficulty aside, I do feel like the timer is just a little bit too tight for you to be playing alone. And this is to be expected if you've played the roguelike genre before. However, based on the ones that I enjoy, like let's say Cult of the Lamb, I don't have a timer chasing me all the time. And I feel like, I don't know why they added that timer, especially in solo mode. Like, I understand you want to time it if we're playing with friends so that the session doesn't stay forever. But why did level 5 add it to our solo runs? And I also think playing with friends is the most fun. I don't know if you were here when we were streaming it, but I was playing for 7 hours and you saw me keep saying one more, let's do one more run. And the community was like, yeah, let's do one more. And it just kept going and going and going. It was really fun because also every person will get different items. The mimic effect can only impact one person. So it's always interesting to see like what effect are they gonna get. And the sense of victory together at the end for the teamwork, it feels so rewarding. But unlike when I played the main game, and you probably also saw me streaming the game for 7 hours, who is she? I just wasn't eager to go back and play the DLC in solo mode. Like, genuinely, I just didn't boot up Fantasy Life in the last 3 days, and I'm not that interested in getting the items from the DLC. Why? Because I was never the person who was too fussed about the endgame getting like the best weapons out there. So I know that the DLC makes grinding, especially grinding the legendary Dawnhorn, a lot easier. But again, I don't really care about stuff like that. And also, I don't really decorate my island either, so I'm not that invested. But another thing is that Dawn's shop will level up the more dream points you've invested into it. So I'm already at level 2, and I know that once you reach level 3, a new gameplay feature will be added to the game itself, which is called polishing. So if you have the blacksmith, carpenter, or alchemist life, you can polish different life tools and weapons to give them a visual change, so it's gonna add this aura to them, but it will also help increase its stats, as well as give the weapon or tool a chance of triggering a boost effect during battle, gathering, or crafting minigames. Yet, when I reached level 1 and then level 2 of the shop, I just unlocked some emotes, some newly added materials. I don't know, one of the sets is the pirate-themed one, and I'm just not interested in it at all. Same with a lot of the sets. Like, I felt like I was buying stuff for the sake of it. And the game doesn't tell you how much more points you need to invest to know when you're going to hit the next shop rank. So it seems like the DLC is a hit or miss depending on what you want out of it. If you go in expecting that it's going to give you like this whole new story or lots of side quests that you enjoyed in the main game, you're gonna be disappointed. But if you're looking for a little bit of an easier time grinding for some materials like the legendary Dawnhorn, or you were hoping for things like more decor items, new hairstyles, then this is probably a good DLC for you. And I still applaud level 5 for bringing this DLC for free, which is incredible. It looks like it's only DLC 1 out of many. They've also teased the Primordial Dragon with another DLC coming soon. Maybe it will take another 6 months again, doesn't matter, but I do hope we're gonna have a paid one with more content so that people like me can have a better time playing in solo mode rather than just feeling like this is mostly for multiplayer. The game is 25% off, and I still truly believe that this game is worth every penny, even if it's at full price. And now that it's 25% off, there's just so much content for you to dive into in the main game. And now you've got this DLC added and plenty more that is coming. So if you're gonna get into the DLC, watch this video next for all the tips and tricks that you're going to need. And let me know what you think about Fantasy Life and especially the new DLC. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible. And a shout out goes to The Game Dimension, Jake Logan, Yukoslav, and Stella for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.